Well, this is our segment we're going into today. Now, it's kind of funny because I remember during our meeting I said, this is going to be easy as pie to make this. If you put that up, go ahead,
Yes,
Stefan.
sir. Putting it up right now.
Some of the most haunted places in the world. Now, I thought this was easy because I thought I was going to find a bunch of articles that agreed. No, I did not. What I had to do was go through about 15 articles and a few YouTube videos, and I tallied the places that they mentioned the most for this list. These are the sixth most mentioned places. So, what do we think the first one is? And then maybe if we have time, I'll talk to you about some of the honorable mentions that showed up.
Yeah.
So, first we have
I don't know.
Bangor Fort in Rajasthan. I didn't say that right. It's in India. It's a fort in India, everyone.
Rajasthan?
Maybe. Yeah, possibly.
Bhangar Fort, Rajasthan, India.
Yes.
Hello, everybody. Okay.
Oh, you know that. Hank Azaria, stop doing that. Anyway.
I know, I was gonna say the same thing. I'm like, we're gonna get in trouble to do that.
Well, okay, so this is about 100 miles southwest of Delhi in the ruins of Bangor Fort, also known as Boot Bangla, the Fort of Ghosts. It has been deserted since around 1783 and was once inhabited by wealthy people, the Palwali Brahmins. Palwal Brown. I'm not saying that right. Anyways, there's two stories that explain the fate of this fort. There was once a curse from a holy man who forbade the height of buildings to be taller than his own, and when a building cast a shadow over his own house, he was said to have cursed the town. And apparently, if anyone attempts to build a roof for the fort nowadays, it will collapse. Okay? It's also believed to be cursed by a disgruntled sorcerer, because you know those guys are dicks, after he was rejected by a local princess. A minister named Salim Singh fell in love with the villager's daughter and in order to marry her threatened villagers with irrationally high taxes. To protect themselves and the girl from the evil minister, the villagers left the place overnight. Yeah, fuck this guy, we would rather move. But not without cursing it. It is believed that no one can dwell in the peace as the evil aura lurks in the town till this date. Locals are beyond scared of the place, and to a point where they have a saying that translates to, if you enter this area, you will not return. So there are ghost sightings over the past 2 centuries here, and by law, you're not allowed to enter this place after sunset.
Wow.
Do you guys believe that there are areas that are haunted, just open land?
Maybe
Well,
you go first, Dan.
I mean, they could just be putting the legends because this is where Bilderberg wants to have one of their ceremonies.
Bilderberg. The frogs are turning gay.
You're not.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I believe there could be bad energy or whatever. But as far as haunted, I don't know, man. I don't know. I'd have to see it with my own eyes, honestly.
Well, let's see this next place. What do we think this place is?
Fairmont Banff Springs Hotel, Canada. Okay.
Yeah.
That almost looks like the Overlook Hotel slightly.
That was one of the honorable mentions, but it did not make the list. Was
Is
the Estes
Overlook
Park.
the one from Colorado based off The Shining?
That's the Overlook, yeah, but it's actually not called the Overlook. It's called the Estes Park Hotel, I believe. I have a list somewhere.
Ooh.
But this is a 131-year-old hotel styled after Scottish baronial castle, and it's known for its amazing views of Banff National Park in Alberta, Canada.
Wow.
And also for guests who have checked in but never checked out.
Ooh, yeah. No thanks. No thanks.
Its famous ghosts include a bride who fell down the staircase, breaking her neck after panicking when her dress caught on fire. She's often seen in the ballroom dancing with the flames coming off the back of her dress.
So not only was her dress on fire, she fell and broke her neck in the process.
Yeah, that's better than burning to death, I think. But
I mean, do you die?
How about no death?
Die instantly when they break your neck? Or
I don't know.
Is that a movie
I don't know.
cliche?
No, you get to look around for about 10 seconds is what I've
heard. You know what? I watched The Boys. I finally went around to watch The Boys, and I am so glad that I did not eat before watching the majority of those episodes.
Oh, yeah. My wife really liked the whale part. We were eating during that.
Oh, yeah, second season.
Now, also, there was a family murdered in room 873. Paranormal activity in 873 has gotten so intense, like bloody handprints on the mirrors, that the hotel decided to brick up the room. So now it just looks like the rest of the hallway, but it's claimed the family can still be seen in the hallway outside where the room door used to be.
Wow, that's crazy.
Ooh, baby.
So, but here's my favorite. There's also a former bellman, Sam McCauley, who served in the hotel during the 60s and 70s, still likes helping guests to their rooms dressed in his 60s uniform. But if you try to tip him or make conversation, he disappears.
Wow, that's
I
crazy.
Now,
always question, like, is that really a real thing? Like, you actually see apparitions and full body figures. I mean, I always feel like that's always been like something that's fake.
Yeah,
I don't.
I'm curious, but I'd
what
have
if
to see it
he's
with my own
just
eyes.
I mean, what if he's just a bellman that, like, he's just a dick? Like, if you try to talk to him, he's like, you know what, just take your fucking bags. And then he, like, walks away and, like, oh, he disappeared. So,
Maybe he's not paid a fair hourly wage, man. He's like, fuck you guys, I'm out.
maybe he comes from a country where they don't tip and he sees it as an
Ah,
insult.
very good.
Just slaps people. Who
How
was that?
dare you?
$1? Fuck you!
By the way, this is now part of the Fairmont chain of luxury hotels, also known as the Castle of the Rockies, and it remains a popular year-round resort. You could stay here.
No thanks.
So
I'll
I
visit
wonder,
it, but I don't
I'd
want to
do
stay.
it.
could you imagine someone coming up? I'd like to stay in room 873. It goes, hey, you're number 50 today, Dick. So anyway, how about this next place?
Ooh.
Hoia Baciu Forest, Romania.
Romania.
Where Dracula.
Yes, well,
Yeah.
it is in Transylvania. And it's the most scary sight to the Transylvanians, more so than Dracula Castle.
Yeah, those trees are bending really weird.
Yeah, there's actually another place in Poland like this. This has not been explained by any scientists yet. They thought, well, maybe when they're saplings, the snow comes and it bends them down because it's so heavy, and
Yeah.
then they end up growing that way. But they're like, yeah, but they would usually trees spring back. They have no idea how this is done. They thought it was man-made, but it's like, who did it then? There's a thin layer of mist usually. It blankets the forest floor and obscures these trees. And
Wow.
it's pretty much completely silent in the forest. And local legends say that there's ghosts in there. It's actually called the Bermuda Triangle of Transylvania. It's rumored to
Oh,
have a strange portal through which people disappear.
wow.
I would think Suicide Forest would be much more scarier than a place like this.
This, you know, what's weird? That was only mentioned twice in the articles. This was mentioned
Really?
about 5 times in the articles that I
Wow.
went through. So that's the whole thing is, like, some of them, there was things like Alcatraz. I was like, I want to talk about that, but you know what? Not mentioned enough. I had to go through some sort of discipline here.
I mean, the way that almost a majority of tourists that visit Suicide Forest encounter either a corpse or somebody in process of killing themselves is insane. I would think that that would be one of the creepiest places, not because of also being haunted, but the fact that you're probably going to leave with some type of trauma after visiting. Like you want to come see a dead body, come here. Or you want to see somebody kill themselves, come here. Like, I would think Suicide Forest would be like on top. Like, I would definitely consider that place super haunted.
Well,
And traumatic.
I have heard in the Suicide Forest you can also get in trouble on YouTube.
I don't think that worked for Logan Paul.
He got in trouble. By the way, so a local shepherd and his sheep are said to have vanished in the woods. That tells you how far back people have been telling the stories, like someone give a shit. But a military technician captured a photograph of a UFO hovering over the forest in 1968, which gained the forest paranormal notoriety over the world. That's funny that says that got paranormal notoriety when they're talking about a UFO. But some believe it's a portal that causes visitors to disappear. Those who have passed through the forest without disappearing have reported rashes, nausea, and feelings of anxiety.
Wow.
So, yeah. Yep. It looks like a bunch of Slenderman chairs right here, I guess.
That is weird. Yeah.
The Council of the Slenderman.
Yes, and it's kind of funny. These are actually both pictures of the same place. So not the curved trees are not always all over the place, but there's also a place in Poland that actually has more of these.
Do you
So-
have another place, kind sir?
Well, I do have another place, kind sir.
Oh,
They look like hipster chair those.
Hipster chairs.
The Tower of London.
Yeah, I've heard that being haunted. They have a Scooby Doo episode or two
They
with
actually,
that. I'm pretty sure.
yep, yeah, oh yeah, yeah. It was the Beefeater. So, anyways, on the Tower of London is one of London's bloodiest sites, where with over 1,000 years of history of ghastly happenings, including gruesome executions, murders, and torture.
But a lot of
It's
beheadings, right?
yeah, it's said to be haunted by the ghost of dozens of prisoners that were held in the tower. Former Queens Anne Boleyn and Catherine Howard were held there until beheaded by Henry VIII. Anne Boleyn is often seen, sometimes with her head under her arm, on the Tower Green and inside the chapel located within the White Tower.
Mm.
Yes.
Yeah, you wouldn't get me to sleep in there. I know for a fact that grisly shit happened in that fucking place. No thanks.
It's crazy though. Imagine a lot of royalty were just killed because they were royalty based off, assumptions or stuff like that. And imagines how many innocent people actually were beheaded. I would want to haunt the hell
witches
out
too.
of. Oh
Witches
yeah,
too.
like Salem, yeah, definitely. But the fact that in reference to like locations such as these, I would if I was killed, with like I would just want to come back and haunt these people. I'd be like, bitch, I'm not leaving. I'm gonna fuck you guys up for killing me. Like we're doing this.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
And then the visitors have noted that experiencing repulsive smells, ice cold rooms, and sightings of ghosts surrounding the tower. So
Now, yeah, if you told me this was haunted, I'd actually, even if I'm not a deep believer in stuff like that, I might believe there's an energy in this fucking place, because people have really fucking got tortured and died in this fucking place, and we know that. You know what I mean?
yep.
Okay, just a random question. Did you guys ever watch growing up Scariest Places on Earth? That was on ABC Family. I think that was the channel name back then. With Linda Blair as the host, and then that tiny little lady from Teen Witch as the voice, which made it even sound creepier.
Full and Roach. I never saw that, I think. Huh.
You
Teen
never
Witch.
watched Scariest Places on Earth?
No, I probably didn't. I don't know.
Yes, I would. I would be like,
She's like, I will kill you, suckle.
well, don't make me like Mr. T at the same time.
Oh, okay, my bad. Nice jeans you got on there, boy. Mm.
We know where that's going.
I would just pull people's hair randomly. I'd be like, it's the Hispanic in me. I just want to pull your hair and let
Just
you know
have
I'm
a
here.
chancla, dude.
Yeah, just throwing shoes. We've heard that's a thing.
like ninja stars and shit.
What's your magical superpower? I throw chanclas.
That's right. Hell yeah.
Well, our next place here
Oh, yes,
is Eastern State Penitentiary, Philadelphia. First of all, it's in Philly, so you know the cream cheese is haunted. No, but
I've heard of this place repeatedly. Yeah.
Yeah, it's actually where some of the country's most notorious criminals and
Bonnie and Clyde, right?
harshest prison punishments in American history.
Bonnie and Clyde, weren't they killed before they even?
Well, I'll get to who was in there. It's actually it's called the very first true penitentiary in the world, and it ran from 1829 till 1971. And then, based on some Quaker beliefs, it had infamously strict rules, which encouraged isolation and punishment. It was one of the first prisons to institute solitary confinement, which leads to insanity. Prisoners were also left wet and cold until ice formed on their bodies, or even given an iron gag that made their tongues bleed. Prison guards took to hooding the inmates whenever they ventured outside their cells further, and the only source of light was the skylight, which was believed to bring the prisoners the light of God. This is super creepy. So, famous inmates included Al Capone and Willie Sutton. Willie Sutton is claimed to be one of the ghosts that you'll see there. I didn't look up a lot about him, but Al Capone we know about, right?
Oh, yeah. Any of the famous gangsters, for sure.
Yeah, and in the 1990s, a locksmith was helping restore the cell when he says a negative energy overcame him, and he would left him temporarily paralyzed before he saw the visions of faces appear on the walls.
Wow.
Since then, countless other true ghost stories have emerged from visitors who have reported seeing shadowy figures or the hearing of eerie giggles, whispers, disembodied laughter, pacing footsteps, and wails. Some of the ghosts spotted still wearing the sacks over their heads.
I
Wow.
believe it's been featured in a lot of ghost paranormal TV shows because it's known to have a lot of activity. I think anywhere from like ghost hunters. I actually think Scariest Places on Earth probably did also feature this place. Which, by the way, this show is like almost 20 years old. I think maybe a little older. But apparently this is like a prime hotspot. So if at any point you want to question whether it's real or not, maybe this is the type of place you guys want to visit.
No, yeah, I think if you're looking for something like to see something, if that's even a possibility, yeah, you want to go to a place where there was a lot of pain and suffering. For sure, I'd say you have a higher possibility,
Yeah.
whatever it would be.
And this is now a museum and cultural exhibit that sometimes hosts Halloween celebrations. So,
Holy shit!
Ooh.
yeah. So, you can actually
Wow.
go here. Now, our last place, so scary. Number one mentioned place. You're not even allowed to go there.
My bathroom?
No.
No.
Not even during the day like
Clean
the one
your
in
bathroom,
India.
Stefan.
It's good, I swear.
Yeah, no, don't worry. The cat must have left those hairs there. Anyway,
Ew.
so Poveglia. I don't know if I said that right. Island in Italy. This was the most mentioned place. This was in a majority of the articles that I looked up. They all wanted to mention this place. They were intrigued by it. It's a short trip from world famous Venice and viewable from the beaches of Lido. The island was used as a quarantine station for over 160,000 people suffering from bubonic plague in the 20th century. It was also used as storage space for Napoleon's weapons and later a mental asylum in the 1920s where illegal experiments were done on its patients.
Yeah,
It is
there's some
called the
shit
most
in
haunted
there.
island in the world. Yeah,
Yeah, there's something going on in there. Fuck that.
some House on Haunted Hill shit going on.
Oh
Now,
yeah.
completely abandoned and illegal to visit. Illegal. Past travelers have
Wow.
heard screams and voices on the island. Locals still claim to hear the bells echoing from this tower from the mainland. And visitors who actually were on shore before it got locked up, seen human bones wash up on shore, and the island soil is said to be composed of 50% human ash from the amount of cremations that were done on the island.
Oh my gosh.
So you can grow a lot of really tasty plants there.
Oh yeah, and grow some pretty weeds and stuff.
Calm down,
These
Hannibal Lecter. Calm down.
juicy.
Ugh.
Why the taste is so good?
That's disgusting.
Many visitors say they begin to feel an oppressive, evil feeling as soon as they step on the island. And ghost hunters love this spot, claiming it's a site with all kinds of ghost activity. But the island is not technically open to the public. There are some tour operators that will take you around the island. But basically, locals will not. Like you say, I want to go on the island. They go, fuck you, swim. Like, I'm not going. Like,
Yeah, you said the one word that would prevent me from going. Island. It's on a fucking island. Fuck that.
Just row your boat gently down the
yeah.
stream. Maybe
It's-
not come back though.
I mean, and isn't it weird how, like, a lot of times just to make things creepy, they just need to show you beds with no mattresses on? Like, you're like, oh my god, that is so creepy. Like, that's going to be a horrible night's sleep.
Wait,
Oh
I'm
my
really
Lord.
curious what does happen to these mattresses. Do people just come in and steal the mattresses?
I don't know.
Why
Yeah,
are the beds always in the show to her without mattresses?
some guy went and he left it next to the trash cans of a bunch of people on their street, so it looked like everybody threw out their mattress at once to make, like, some weird urban legend.
Oh my
But-
Lord.
I don't know, but it's crazy though. Especially after I went to that place in Williamsburg, that feeling you get is really real. Like it's weird. It's like a pressure to your chest type thing. It's not even like anxiety. When you have anxiety, you feel like you're having a heart attack or you feel antsy. No, it's just this weird random pressure. Like something is just embracing you. It's weird. Like I questioned it before. I once I did like feel something like that when I went to like the Death Museum, but that was the last time, and that was a long time ago. And then I went there, and I was like, "Oh my god, it feels something weird." And then you can prove it in the video. Like I mentioned, feeling weird, and then that stuff started happening, and all those little orbs and stuff. So yeah, I think that's a real thing.
Well, I've been to the Phillips Mansion a couple times in Pomona. That was, I think, Craft Crew dude. He mentioned it a couple times. and it's kind of funny because you can hear this high pitched sound and something feels weird as you go in. But then, after you learn a little bit, you kind of go, the electricity in here is bad. Like, that's what it is. They have old electricity, old wires, and that's what you're hearing.
Oh
Just
yeah.
really, but it is kind of weird. The walls are thick in those old places, by the way, too. Like super thick. You could get away with a lot in your next bedroom. So,
Yeah.
yeah. So,
Ew.
anyways, what?
You can get a lot done in your bedroom.
That's why they had a lot more kids back then. It's like they didn't
Oh
worry about them
yeah.
hearing through the wall.
That's right. That's right.
You just Kool-Aid man that stuff?
Oh
Like,
yeah.
yeah.
Or
yeah.
what is it? That one
Is
dude
that
from
is
Slim Jim.
that exactly what you say when you're done?
I go, oh yeah. And that's no.
No. You only say it as you break on through.
No, that's
And
right.
you ever wonder if Kool-Aid Man, the face is on the jar or it's on the Kool-Aid?
Mm.
Ooh. No, I think it's like a condensation type thing, or I think this is like Kool-Aid.
I don't know.